Hello guys, and welcome to yet another video. In this one we are going to be learning about the REST operator that got introduced in the ES6. So let's get started. So to describe what REST operator is all about, let me first create a function that will sum up all the numbers that we pass to it using an array. So let's come here, let's type function, let's give it a name, let's simply call it sum, and then let's provide here arguments, so it will expect an array of numbers, so we can say there like numbers, and then inside of here we can do this in like a couple of variants. We can use a for loop, or we can use a reduce helper. So first of all, let's simply use for loop so that you don't have to worry about like understanding reduce helper, because that's not the topic of this video. So for let's say let I is equal to 0 as long as I is less than numbers dot length I plus plus, like this, and then we'll need some variable that will hold the actual sum. So let's create like well, sum would work, and then let's say that sum plus equals numbers at I, like this. Now let's come over here and let's simply call it with an array of numbers. So let's say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and let's also return the sum so that we can see some result. And now we can console.log this, or maybe we would want to like store the result in this result variable over here, and then we can console.log the result here like this. So okay, nothing new I hope, and let's see what happens. I'm using nodes, but as always you can copy and paste this, actually retype this code yourself in any of the sites like JSBin and things of that nature. So we see the value of 55, and that's great. That's what we want to do, and that's what is happening right here. But like the one thing where the REST operator could be helpful is what happens if instead of this array we receive like a list of numbers. So let me just remove these square braces, and let's try this code once again. And now this won't work. We get 0 because sum was initially assigned to 0, but because this isn't an array, this won't work at all. So REST allows us to use arguments like these and turn them internally into an array. So right now, if I was to come here and console.log the content of these parameter numbers, let's see what's stored in there when I call it with array first, like this. Okay, let's try it, and you see we get a whole array as argument, which is fine, which is what is supposed to happen. But what happens when we pass a list of numbers instead? So if I was to run this again, we will just see the 1, because like this first argument got mapped to this. If we had like arg2 over here and I was to console.log that as well, we should see both 1 and 2 in this instance. 1 and 2. Okay, so now let's use REST to turn these list of arguments into an array. So to use the REST operator, you need to type ... and then followed by the name. So this is the so-called REST operator. So now if I was to come here again and console.log the contents of numbers this time, and remember, we're still passing this as a list of numbers and not array. So if I come here again, we see that REST actually converted that list of numbers into an array for us, and then the code, this code was able to run properly. Now this is pretty much it when it comes to REST operator. This is like the main use case, I would say, but feel free to write in the comments if you can think of some other interesting reasons to use it. And also, like, here is a great example if you want to test your knowledge on the reduce helper. So if you want, pause this video right now and maybe try to rewrite this code using the reduce, and if you are unsure how to do it, we'll do it together. So what we can do is we can return back from this function numbers.reduce, and then this reduce will get a function that will have two parameters. First is going to be the sum, and the second is going to be like the current number. And then this is a function, and of course don't forget we have a second argument to this reduce function, and that should be the initial value. For this summing things up, we use 0 as the initial value, like this. And then inside of this reduce function we need to return sum plus number. So pretty much like that. Then we can get rid of all of this, and if I save this and we try this once again, you see that we still get 55. Now of course this is a great example where we can use fat arrow function that we also learned about, so we can do that. And in the same video I also shown you how you can get rid of these squiggly braces in case you have a single statement. So let's do even that. So I'm going to get rid of all of this and this, like this, and now this function is really a single line, and yet it still works as it should be. So this video was kinda cool because like it tied like a couple of different videos, but like of course the main focus was still on the REST operator, and as you can see it's really not that hard. Basically whenever you have a function that receives a list of some arguments, in case you want to turn that list of arguments into an array of them instead, you can pretty much just type ... and then give it a name, and then that variable will contain the passed arguments in an array form for you. So that's that for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.